Did you know that 86% of employees and executives cite a lack of effective communication as the main reason for workplace failures? And yet, a study by the University of California found that 55% of communication is nonverbal, meaning what we don't say speaks louder than words. Most people think they're good at communicating, but the truth is, poor communication costs businesses over $37 billion a year. The shocking part? You can fix it fast. In this video, we'll show you simple techniques to improve your communication immediately. You'll learn how to listen in a way that makes others feel truly heard, how your body language can influence conversations, and how to turn any conflict into a chance for collaboration. These tips are easy, practical, and will make a big difference at work. Stick around to find out how you can communicate better right now. Chapter 1. Unlock the power of active listening. Here beyond the words, effective communication starts with listening, but not just any listening, active listening. It's about being fully present in the moment and engaging with the speaker. Research shows that we remember only 25–50% of what we hear after just 24 hours. So, if you're not actively listening, you're missing out on key information. Active listening is more than nodding your head. It's about making eye contact, asking clarifying questions, and providing feedback. When you reflect on what someone says, it shows them they matter. For example, if a colleague says, "I feel overwhelmed with my workload," you could respond, "It sounds like you're feeling stressed. How can I help?" One simple strategy to become a better active listener is to practice summarizing what's been said. This helps you stay engaged and ensures you fully understand the message. It also helps the speaker feel heard, which strengthens relationships. Moreover, active listening leads to better decision-making. A study by the International Listening Association found that people who actively listen are 43% more effective at making sound decisions. This means listening carefully can also improve your leadership abilities and help your team perform better. It's essential to avoid distractions while listening. A 2019 study by the National Center for Biotechnology Information found that multitasking while communicating can significantly reduce your ability to retain information. So, put down that phone and focus on the conversation at hand. Active listening also involves listening to emotions. Words only convey part of the message, while tone, pitch, and pace can reveal how someone truly feels. By paying attention to these cues, you can gain a deeper understanding of their emotional state, which is key to navigating complex conversations. Being a good listener also means you need to ask open-ended questions. Instead of just yes or no questions, ask, "Can you explain that further?" Or, "What's the biggest challenge you're facing?" This encourages a deeper conversation and shows that you're genuinely interested in their thoughts. The power of listening extends to virtual communication as well. With so many teams working remotely, it's tempting to only focus on what's written in emails. But even in digital conversations, active listening is vital. Ask questions, acknowledge ideas, and make sure you're truly processing information. Remember, listening is a skill that can be developed. Practice active listening in everyday conversations, whether it's at work or at home, and watch how your communication improves quickly. Chapter 2. Nonverbal secrets. Master the silent language. They say actions speak louder than words, and in communication, that's absolutely true. Studies suggest that 55% of communication is nonverbal. This includes body language, facial expressions, and even posture. What you don't say can often communicate more than what you do. Body language sets the tone of your message. If you're speaking with a colleague but have your arms crossed and avoid eye contact, it can create a barrier. In contrast, open posture and steady eye contact can build trust and rapport. In fact, research from the University of California shows that strong eye contact can make you appear 30% more confident. One trick to improve your nonverbal communication is to mirror the other person's body language. This doesn't mean mimicking them exactly, but subtly reflecting their movements and expressions. Doing this can make the other person feel more comfortable, helping them open up. Posture plays a major role, too. When you sit up straight and lean in slightly, it shows that you're interested and engaged. Conversely, slouching or leaning back can suggest disinterest or disengagement. It's a small change, but it makes a big difference. Another important nonverbal cue is facial expression. A smile can go a long way in making others feel at ease, while a furrowed brow might suggest confusion or frustration. Studies show that people are able to judge your mood based on your facial expressions in less than a second. So, be mindful of how you look while communicating. Tone of voice is also a powerful tool. You could say something kind, but if your tone is flat or sarcastic, the message could come across as rude. A varied tone shows enthusiasm and engagement. In fact, 38% of the impact of your message comes from the tone you use, according to a study by Albert Mehrabian. In a work setting, nonverbal communication can help prevent misunderstandings. If you feel uncomfortable with a project or task, your body language might express it even before you speak. This makes it easier for colleagues or managers to spot when things aren't right. You should also be aware of the nonverbal cues others are sending you. For instance, if someone avoids eye contact or seems restless, they may be uncomfortable or distracted. Pay attention to these signs and adjust your communication to make them feel more at ease. The next time you're in a meeting or having a one-on-one, remember, your body language can either build bridges or create walls. Use your nonverbal signals to complement what you're saying, and watch how your communication improves. Chapter 3. The Art of Clarity. How to cut through the noise in today's fast-paced work environment. Clear communication is more important than ever. We're bombarded with emails, messages, and constant notifications, making it easy for the key points to get lost. But clarity is key. When you communicate clearly, you reduce misunderstandings and make it easier for others to take action. The first step in being clear is to eliminate unnecessary words. Studies show that the average person spends 20 minutes trying to understand a 10-minute email. That's lost time. Be direct and get to the point. If your message is simple and well-structured, it will be much more effective. Don't assume everyone understands what you mean. Sometimes, the simplest terms can confuse others. For example, avoid jargon and acronyms unless you're sure everyone is familiar with them. If in doubt, ask yourself, would a new team member understand this? An effective strategy for clarity is using the KISS principle. Keep it short and simple. It's a technique that works in both written and verbal communication. Be concise and focus on one idea at a time. In fact, studies have shown that short, well-crafted messages lead to 40% faster decision-making. Another strategy is to repeat your key message in different ways. If you're discussing a project deadline, for instance, say it in several forms. The deadline is Friday. Please ensure all tasks are completed by Friday, and let's make sure everything's in by the end of the week. This reinforces your point and ensures everyone hears it clearly. Visual aids can also enhance clarity. When explaining complex concepts, use diagrams or charts. A 2017 study by the University of California found that visual information is processed 60,000 times faster than text. Using visuals can make your message clearer and easier to understand. Don't forget to ask for feedback. After giving a message, ask if the listener has any questions. This gives them an opportunity to seek clarification, and it ensures that the communication was received as intended. Lastly, practice active speaking. Just as active listening helps with clarity, so does active speaking. Speak slowly, enunciate your words, and pause for emphasis. This makes it easier for others to follow along and absorb the information you're sharing. In today's workplace, clarity is a superpower. It cuts through the noise and ensures your message is understood without confusion. By applying these strategies, you'll become a communication pro in no time. Remember to subscribe for more insights and tips to boost your communication skills. Chapter 4. Feedback that fuels growth. Transform criticism into opportunity. Feedback is essential for growth, but not all feedback is created equal. Giving and receiving feedback effectively can dramatically improve workplace communication. The key to feedback that fuels growth is to make it constructive and actionable. A study by Gallup revealed that employees who receive regular feedback are 3.5 times more likely to be engaged at work. One of the best ways to give feedback is by focusing on specific behaviors, not personality traits. Instead of saying, "You're not a team player," try something like, "I noticed you didn't collaborate much in today's meeting. Let's talk about how we can improve that." This approach prevents the person from feeling attacked and opens up a dialogue for improvement. It's also important to deliver feedback promptly. A study by the Harvard Business Review found that the longer you wait to give feedback, the less effective it becomes. By addressing issues as soon as they arise, you can make sure your feedback is timely and relevant. The SBI model is an excellent tool for providing clear feedback. SBI stands for Situation Behavior Impact. For example, in the team meeting, situation, you interrupted Sarah several times. Behavior, which made it difficult for her to express her ideas. Impact. This structure is straightforward, making it easy for the person to understand what happened and how to improve. When receiving feedback, don't become defensive. Research by the Center for Creative Leadership shows that employees who listen openly to feedback are 60% more likely to make improvements. Instead of justifying your actions, ask clarifying questions and take notes. This shows that you value the feedback and are committed to learning. Remember to balance criticism with praise. The sandwich method is a simple but effective technique. Start with something positive, provide constructive feedback in the middle, and then end with another positive comment. This ensures the person doesn't feel demotivated and sees the feedback as a tool for improvement. It's also valuable to make feedback a two-way street. Encourage colleagues to share their thoughts on your performance. Studies indicate that when feedback is reciprocal, it leads to more meaningful, open communication. This can build a culture of continuous improvement and foster stronger team relationships. Another important element of feedback is making it clear and actionable. Avoid vague phrases like, "do better next time." Instead, give them a roadmap. To improve, focus on staying more organized and prioritizing your tasks. Clear, actionable feedback gives the receiver a better chance to succeed and grow. Lastly, be mindful of your tone when delivering feedback. According to a study by the University of California, 93% of communication is nonverbal, meaning your body language, tone, and facial expressions are crucial. Make sure your tone is neutral and encouraging, not condescending or dismissive. When feedback is done right, it can create a culture of openness and continuous learning. Rather than fearing criticism, your team will embrace feedback as a tool to help everyone grow together. Chapter 5. Emotional Intelligence in Action. Read the room. Respond right. Emotional intelligence, EQ, is a game changer in communication. It's the ability to recognize, understand, and manage your own emotions, as well as the emotions of others. A study by TalentSmart found that 90% of top performers have high emotional intelligence. So, improving your EQ can take your communication skills and leadership abilities to the next level. One key strategy to improve your EQ is self-awareness. Understanding your emotions helps you communicate better. For example, if you're feeling frustrated during a meeting, you can recognize the emotion and choose to remain calm, rather than reacting impulsively. This allows you to stay in control of the conversation and communicate more effectively. Another crucial aspect of EQ is empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. When you're empathetic, you listen not just to words but to emotions. If a coworker is stressed about a project, instead of brushing it off, acknowledge their feelings. "I can see that this project is overwhelming you. Let's figure out a solution together." This shows you care and builds trust. Active listening, which we discussed earlier, is a big part of empathy. But beyond listening, ask questions to show you care. Instead of saying, "That's tough," try something more specific. "What's been the most challenging part for you?" This opens the door to a deeper, more meaningful conversation. You should also manage your emotions in challenging situations. If you're dealing with a difficult coworker, stay calm and composed. Research by the American Psychological Association shows that leaders with high EQ are better at managing conflict and reducing workplace stress. This helps keep communication open, even in tense moments. Being emotionally intelligent also means recognizing when your communication may be misinterpreted. If your tone is too harsh or your body language is off, it can lead to misunderstandings. Pay attention to these signs and adjust your approach to make things on track. Another strategy is learning how to respond, not react. Emotional intelligence teaches us to pause before reacting emotionally to a situation. Instead of firing off a quick response in anger or frustration, take a moment to think it through. This not only prevents miscommunication but also improves the overall quality of the conversation. Being aware of social cues is another essential skill in emotional intelligence. This means reading the room, understanding the mood, energy, and atmosphere of a situation. Are your colleagues excited about a new project, or are they stressed about upcoming deadlines? By observing these cues, you can adjust your approach and communicate in a way that resonates with others. Lastly, emotional intelligence strengthens relationships. Research by the Daniel Goleman Emotional Intelligence Consortium found that leaders with high EQ have 60% higher chances of building strong, trusting relationships. This leads to better collaboration and more effective communication. In the workplace, emotional intelligence is not just about managing emotions but also using them to build stronger, more authentic connections. By improving your EQ, you'll be able to respond to situations more effectively, fostering a culture of understanding and mutual respect. Chapter 6. From conflict to collaboration. Turning tension into teamwork. Conflict is inevitable, but it doesn't have to be destructive. In fact, conflict can be a powerful tool for growth and collaboration when managed properly. A study by the Harvard Business Review revealed that teams who engage in productive conflict make 2.5 times more progress than those who avoid it. The first step in turning conflict into collaboration is to stay calm. When emotions run high, it's easy to say something you'll regret later. But staying calm helps you think clearly and communicate more effectively. Studies have shown that leaders who stay composed during conflict are 3 times more likely to resolve the issue successfully. One strategy for managing conflict is to focus on the issue, not the person. Instead of saying, "You always mess this up," try saying, "The last project had some issues with deadlines. How can we improve this going forward?" This approach focuses on solutions, not blame, which opens up the conversation for positive change. Active listening is crucial in conflict resolution. Make sure you understand the other person's perspective before jumping to conclusions. Asking open-ended questions like, "Can you explain more about what happened?" or "What's your point of view on this?" shows that you value their input and helps create a more balanced discussion. When emotions run high, it's easy to focus on winning the argument. However, the goal of resolving conflict is not to win, but to find a solution that works for everyone. A study by the Conflict Resolution Institute found that 80% of successful resolutions are the result of collaborative solutions, where all parties involved feel heard. Instead of pushing your agenda, approach the conversation with an open mind. Be willing to compromise and find common ground. In the end, resolving conflict isn't about being right, it's about coming together to create a better outcome for everyone involved. Another helpful strategy is to reframe the situation. If you're feeling frustrated, reframe the issue as an opportunity for growth. For example, "This challenge is frustrating, but it's a chance for us to refine our processes and work together more efficiently." Acknowledge the emotions involved, too. If someone is upset, don't ignore their feelings. Saying something like, "I can see you're upset. Let's take a step back and talk about this," can diffuse tension and pave the way for a more productive conversation. Finally, celebrate the resolution. When you work through conflict and come to a mutual agreement, take a moment to acknowledge the success. This reinforces the idea that conflict is a stepping stone to stronger collaboration. With the right strategies, conflict doesn't have to be a barrier, it can be a bridge to better teamwork and communication. By managing conflict well, you can foster a culture of collaboration, trust, and respect in your workplace. Be sure to subscribe for more tips on how to improve your communication and leadership skills.